What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live here on Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're at the end of the week. It is September 11th, 2020. First and foremost, we want to recognize that on this day, many years ago, there was a tragedy that happened in our country. And that tragedy actually brought us closer and closer together in a moment of unity. And it's kind of crazy how tragedy typically brings us all together, ladies and gentlemen. And on this day, this show is going to be about a group of men coming together to have a unified message for our nation in efforts to bring us together and promote change. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins yesterday made me a proud fan of the team with their powerful message about the national anthem this year, and it is entitled, "We'll Just Stay Inside." If you haven't seen it yet, we're about to check it out, all right? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right in on it.
Is it authentic? That's the mystery.
Or is it just another symbolic victory?
Now there's two anthems. Do we kneel? Do we stand?
If we could just right our wrongs, we wouldn't need two songs.
We don't need another publicity parade
So we'll just stay inside.
until it's time to play the game.
Whatever happened to the funds that were promised? All of a sudden, we got a glass pocket?
The bottom line should not be the net profit.
You can't open your heart when it's controlled by your wallet.
Decals and patches.
Fireworks and trumpets?
We're not puppets.
Don't publicize false budgets.
Ask the pundits, and we shouldn't have a say.
If you speak up for change, then I'll shut up and play.
If we remain silent, that would just be selfish.
Since they don't have a voice, we're speaking up for the helpless.
It's not enough to act like you care for the troops.
Millions for pre-game patriotism. You get paid to salute.
Lift every voice and sing.
It's just a way to save face.
Lose the mask and stop hiding the real game face.
So if my dad was a soldier, but the cops killed my brother, do I stand for one anthem and then kneel for the other?
This attempt to unify only creates more divide.
So we'll skip the song and dance.
And as a team, we'll stay inside.
We need changed hearts, not just a response to pressure.
Enough. No more fluff and empty gestures.
We need owners with influence and pockets bigger than ours.
To call up officials.
And flex political power.
When education is not determined by where we reside.
And we have the means to purchase what the doctor prescribed.
And you fight for prison reform and innocent lives.
And you repair the communities that were tossed to the side.
And you admit you gained from it and you swallowed your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but love is the guide.
And when the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime.
Until then, we'll just skip the long production and stay inside.
For centuries, we've been trying to make you aware.
Either you're in denial or just simply don't really care.
It's not a black-white thing.
Or a left-right thing.
Let's clean the whole bird and stop arguing about which wing.
Before the media starts wondering and guessing, they just answered all your questions. We'll just stay inside.
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
Is it authentic? That's the
Powerful, powerful, powerful. That is a powerful message from the Miami Dolphins. Man, where do I even begin on this one, man? Where do I even begin? Guys, basically, and this is why I respect Brian Flores so much, being a leader of men. He found a way to get a message across to eliminate the controversy and stand for something. He got the message across by delivering a message such as that one. No controversy because they're not going to be out on the field anyway. And they'll just stay inside. And a lot of people lately, I've been hearing people say, then, I mean, what is this all for? What is the goal? What are they trying to accomplish? And be honest, I rarely hear a lot of the goals out there, but these guys just named a lot of them. These guys named a lot of them. And that's why it actually it's very powerful. So if I don't want people to just listen to this and just to listen to it.
Step and play.
I want to go to some
Silent.
specific
Lose the
points.
mask and stop hiding the.
With my brother, do I stand for one anthem
This attempt to unify only
So we'll skip the song.
and we'll stay inside?
We need changed hearts,
Here we
not
go.
just a response to pressure.
It say we need changed hearts, not just a response to pressure. See, because that's what the NFL players are starting to feel like. Nobody's heart is being changed. They're just acting accordingly based off of the pressure of protest, the pressure of wanting to maybe not play the game. And this is also a message to the NFL owners. We need you to do something more. This is what's the beautiful part of it. They're actually listing specific things. We don't need a response to what we do. We actually need change of hearts. What else do they need?
Enough. No more fluff and empty gestures.
We need
No more fluff and empty gestures. Don't tell us, oh, we care and we're going to do something about it, and then nothing happens.
owners with influence and pockets bigger than ours.
We need owners with influence and pockets that are bigger than ours. Because they can make a simple phone call to legislator, because the more money you have, the more power you have. I think everybody knows that. They're actually listing specific things here.
To call up officials
inflicts political power.
When education is not determined by where we reside.
Powerful, Van Noy. Now they're listing actual things. So for all y'all who are mindless of what people want to change, Calvin Noy just said where education is not determined by where we live. Because if you're oblivious to it, education is different depending on where you live. Some places allow specific education, financial education, specific tailored education that can end up having some children grow up with an advantage over others versus a basic general education where they're not teaching you how to be successful in the future. They're not helping make you financially literate. Matter of fact, not only that, you have more resources in certain areas due to where the funding is allocated, to where some kids get a better education where the classroom sizes are 15-1 versus in some places it being 25-1. That's a difference. I love when Van Noy said that. When the level of education is not determined by where you reside. That is huge.
and we have the means to purchase what the doctor prescribed. And you fight for prison reform and innocent lives, and you repair the communities that were tossed to the side.
Fight for prison reform, because I know even our president now put prison a level of prison reform in place, but that's not even the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more prison reform that has to take place to really make change, because there's disproportions out here that are vastly discriminatory.
And you admit you gained from it and you swallowed your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but love is the guide.
And when the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime.
When the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime. See, some people would tell me, TD, well, some people with certain skin color commit more crime. That ain't what they're saying. That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, if somebody was blue and the other person was purple, it should not be a situation where they commit the same crime and the person that's blue is literally getting 1 year in prison and the person that's purple is getting 10 years. That's what they're saying. See, these are specific actions of equality that they are fighting for. It should not matter the skin of your color that determines your punishment. You're this color, so we're going to let you out on probation, but you're this color, and we're going to go ahead and give you 5 years. That should not determine your punishment, skin color. It shouldn't at all. So all y'all who are oblivious to what they're actually fighting for when they say equality, this is what we're talking about. This is what they're talking about. This is the message they're trying to help people understand. It makes no sense. We are all football fans. Do you think it's fair that on Sunday they're going to automatically give the Patriots 30 points to start out with and the Dolphins 0? No, you're not going to watch that crap. You're not going to watch that crap. Every opponent we play, they give 30, but the Dolphins, you get 0 to start the game. You're not going to watch that crap because it's not fair. And this is the nation we live in where skin color can determine the length of sentence that you receive. And all you have to do is, if you don't believe that, go do your research. For the same crime, there are certain race groups that are sentenced harsher, much harsher than other races. And this is the equality that we're talking about. And they're being very specific. That's what I like about it. This isn't just we're standing up against injustice and we're going to stay inside. No, we're standing up against this, that, this, that. They are listing some specific and tangible things. I actually have to back up for a second because something else was said that I think I skipped just now.
Swallow your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but
And you admit you gain from it, and you swallow
to the side. And prepare the communities that were tossed to the side.
And
repair the community.
Here we go.
And innocent lives. And you repair the community.
Right here.
And you fight for prison reform and innocent lives. And you repair the communities that were tossed to the side.
You repair the communities that were tossed to the side. What do you mean tossed to the side? There are some communities that are struggling and have been struggling forever. Let me tell y'all a little something about the game with wealthy individuals and gentrification and things like that. Let me put some of y'all up on game and help y'all understand how this works. There is a system in play out here. And hey, I'll actually quote Jay-Z. Jay-Z said that it's actually a brilliant plan, but so messed up. And some of y'all who are oblivious to it, I'm actually put you on game real quick and how it works. So what you do is you take a specific area of a city, and in today's world, unfortunately, predominantly African-American, you place 70% of the police officers in that area, even though it's only 20% of the landmass of that city. You place 70% of law enforcement in there, which means you're going to have more crime out of that area that's caught, because the other areas you're not going to have as much crime caught because you don't have as many enforcers. So now we just talked about people getting unfair sentences. Now, in a lot of times, it's a male offender. Now that male offender is no longer home with the family. That male offender is in prison, probably 5 years more than his counterpart, away from his family, unable to provide and produce funds that will allow them to have a sustainable life. The mother and children at home are struggling, can't afford the resources, nor the education, nor the assets that will secure an amazing future for them, a productive, prosperous future for them. They're subject to crime. And then you take away ownership and you create renting and government assistance, housing, food stamps, and all of those programs. You oversaturate the area with all of that. So there's no wealth, no business, no economic success in those areas. And when you have no economic success in those areas and people who don't own their own stuff to take pride in it, it starts to become run down. And you have people struggling to pay their bills with no jobs and no means to do so, which results in more and more and more crime. It's a ripple effect. It creates more and more and more crime. On top of that, they're not getting the education for the next generation to live above that. All they know is poverty and crime, so that's all they will produce in the future. In a select few, a handful of a group of 100, every time a handful does better, but still has to navigate through the system and all of the things that can trip them up in life. So what happens all of a sudden? Property taxes in that rundown, raggedy, beat up, dirty area, because that's what happens. It runs down, robberies, murders, and nothing gets taken care of. And it looks like what our president would call an S-hole. Facts. It gets run down. So you got an area where you might have paid $1,200 in rent for a 2-2, and now it's so run down, you can get it for $600 a month. All the property of ownership goes down drastically. But who wants to buy in that area and own? No one, because they don't even have the sources to buy the cheap asset that they don't even realize is in front of them, because they don't even have the financial education to realize that. Then all of a sudden, your millionaire and billionaire investors come in and start buying up the trash. Your millionaire investor buys this trash apartment complex, buys that whole strip of houses that were foreclosed for pennies on the dollar. They buy all the vacant land up. And what do? They change that $600 rent to $1,800. And those who do own their property, the property taxes start to increase in the area. You know why? Because the mayor of the city starts talking about change is on the way. We're putting more police. We're putting more fire departments. Now we're having community development projects. And how do you pay for that? Increased property taxes. Now those low-income, uneducated individuals, all because of the system, are forced to either move out or commit even more crimes just to keep up with the increased cost of living, which makes the cycle accelerate of more prison, more government assistance, until that area is all bought up and expensive as can be. Trash area expensive. Now the population of a specific group starts to dwindle. They start spreading out and moving to other cities. Now you see the beautiful buildings coming. Now you see the brand new homes coming. Now you see, and none of them can afford these things. The new ones. In over a 20-year period, that entire area is transformed into a beautiful, luxurious place. And sad thing about it, majority of them are right close to downtowns, so the cost is even more. Most of them are right in downtowns, close to downtown areas. So the cost is even more when they fix it up and it looks all pretty. And they rotate all those individuals up out of there over time. And now it's an oasis of a different demographic of people. And it's called gentrification. It's a brilliant plan, but heartless. That's what Jay-Z said in his newest album. And he's right. It's a brilliant plan, but heartless. If you have the assets and the education to recognize it's a brilliant plan. Go buy up the hood. Go buy up the project developments. Go buy up. Do you know that? I believe it's in Detroit. There are 3 families in the entire city of Detroit that own 90% of the properties. And Detroit is the cheapest place you can find real estate right now. And do you see what's happening? It's about to happen to Detroit eventually. They have run it down so much. How come they run it down and it is a terrible place? But 3 major families own 90% of the property in Detroit. Bet you didn't know that. 3 families own 90% of all the property, and they're sitting on it, waiting for it to run down to the max. Then they're going to put all their money on rebuilding it, and they may be the next billionaires and trillionaires. It's a genius plan, but heartless. They're preying on the weak and preying on the system to do what it does, to continue to keep a certain group of people down as they rise up. And that's what the grander scheme of things is what these Miami Dolphins are talking about. Rebuild these communities that have been torn down, but not in the form of gentrification. Give these families the proper education. Give these families the proper resources. And yes, I agree, Chalk. Those low property taxes go to the school system. And it's not even enough. Then when you raise the property tax, it's not even going to the school system. They're keeping the same low budget for the school system, but they're putting it into the city for regentrification. You know how many hoods back home in South Florida that every time I go down to see my parents, I'm like, wow, look at all these signs that say change is coming and all these new developments popping up. And you got certain people jogging in what I used to call a hood. And I'm like, wow, that would have been impossible in the past. They just out here running and jogging. Dr. Green said, no, TD, they're just spending wisely. Brilliant plan, cold-blooded. We waste our money trying to make somebody love us. Because of our education, Dr. Green. We're not teaching our children at a young age the power of money, the importance of saving your money, the importance of building credit and wealth. So they're not spending it wisely. They need to spend it on education. It's not just us spending and making bad decisions. Typically people make bad decisions because they're ignorant of the outcome. They're ignorant of the outcome. Shout out to my brother Breeda G in the comment section. He quoting what Bobby McCain said. If you speak up for change, I'll shut up and play. Because they've been told so many times, shut up and play. Then who's going to speak for those people? Who's going to speak for those people? And Bobby said it straight out. If you speak up, then I'll shut up and play. And this is also a message to the owners. This message also was heavy to the owners. If you speak up, then I'll play. You have bigger pockets than me. You have more influence than me. You can make one phone call to legislators and push for change, and they will listen to you. But they won't listen to me. It's crazy to me. And I love it, Shake Money. You're right. On this day, on every channel and every news station, they're going to remember 9/11. But they don't want you to remember all the inequalities that are going on. It's crazy to me, man. I'm sorry, bro, but I have to respond to this comment. Uriah said, bro, as a dude that's been in the hood, I'm tired of this BS politics in sports. If you ain't going to tell our community to stop the crime of our community, I live here in Broward County. When Atlanta, WA. Bro, that's where I was born and raised. Broward County, Hollywood, Florida. Politics is needed in sports. We so caught up on telling our own community to stop killing themselves, but we don't care why they doing it. I don't understand that. We know that there is a bad thing of us killing ourselves. But why are we ignoring why we're doing it? Gosh, man, there's a cause and effect to everything. Can we start talking about why it's happening? Well, stop killing yourself. Why are we killing ourselves? Why are we killing ourselves? When your grandmama in the house and she 80 years old, and y'all getting eviction notices, and you got to come up with $2,000 by the end of the month, and she can't do it, she's sick. You ain't making half of what you need, nor do you have the education to rise above it and get it. People out here trying to survive. And at the end of the day, let's not act like we're not humans. Let's not act like we're not humans. Don't forget, as a human being, you are also an animal. You're an animal on this earth. We call ourselves humans. Like it's different from a lion. That we just got a bigger brain than them. Survival by any means necessary. That is our nature. That is our nature. Survival by any means necessary. Why are we out here killing ourselves? Well, when we stop the black on black crime, why is there black on black crime? So listen, don't get me wrong. I am a major advocate of we do need to stop killing ourselves. We got to do better in loving ourselves and sticking together. I get that. But we cannot ignore, in order to fix it, I had to say, okay, so why are we doing it so we can eliminate that? So that we can stop it. You can't just tell somebody, stop killing yourselves. Well, you don't know why I'm doing it. You don't know why I'm doing it. You can't tell somebody to stop something if you don't even know why they're doing it. We cannot fix the symptoms. We have to fix the root cause to it, and it'll stop the symptoms. Everybody got these suggestions out here that are fixing symptoms. We have to fix the root cause, and you won't have no symptoms. Black on black crime is a symptom. It's not the root cause. You don't attack symptoms, you attack root causes, and you never have to worry about symptoms. That's the message that people are missing. That is the part everybody want to attack. Every little small little thing that's happening out here. No, get to that root cause, and none of those things will exist. And let me tell you some of the root causes. Taking the father out of the home, where he can't provide for his family, disproportionately incarcerating the father, taking away great education so that ignorant decisions are no longer made, providing the resources and tools for people when they are in a tough situation? These kids are not being parented. These kids don't even have a daddy in the house to tell them, get your behind together. Get your act together. They don't even have a father figure. You know who their father figure is? The government, when they're incarcerated in a juvenile detention facility after they've already committed a crime. And the same crime that's probably going to haunt them for the rest of their life. Not only that, cause them to create more crimes. The government is their parent. It's like an absent father who ain't got to pay no support, who ain't got to be in the household. That's what the government is. The government ain't in the house raising them, teaching them principles. It's crazy, man. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's keep it moving.
And you admit you gained from it.
And you admit that you gained from it. They just talked about disproportionate sentencing, and you admit that you gained from it. Ice Cube came out with a black contract. One of the items in that contract said, for reform, close all privately owned prisons. Do you know why Ice Cube put that in the black contract? To end privately owned prisons? Because it's become a business to literally, election season just ended. Election season just ended. Not one person in this comment section can tell me they didn't see a billboard on the side of the road about nominate me as a judge. Nominate me as the judge. Judges run for office. And guess who are the number one supporters and funders of judges' campaigns? People who own private prisons. It's a system. Hey, man, I want to go ahead and put $5 million towards your campaign of being a judge. Who you think pays for them billboards on the side of the road? They walk right up in there with their lobbyists and talk about, hey, I'm going to give you $5 million to your campaign of being a judge. I think that you could bring real change in being tough on crime so that we can improve it. That's what they say. Be tough on crime so that we can have a safer environment. In other words, lock people up in certain areas longer so that my prison business can thrive. In New York City, you know how much money they make per prisoner per year? Some places over $100,000 per prisoner without a medical issue. One person, 100,000. You know, and when you have a private prison, as soon as they made it legal to own prisons as private citizens, of course they're going to be putting their money behind judges that give tougher sentences because it's good for business. Some states you can lock somebody up for 5 years and the government sending you a $500,000 check, but it only costs you maybe $80,000 to house that inmate. Where you think that other 420 going? Prison is a profit. And the crazy thing is research and legislators, Democratic and Republicans, have actually, this is the shocking part, they have actually gone as far as to admit that if we reduce the amount of prisoners, it could collapse the economy. What? Our legislators, Republican and Democratic, have admitted if we reduce the amount of prisoners and harsh sentences, it can hurt our economy. That means you'll need less guards. That's less jobs for corrections officers. The less stuff that you like. Think about it. Why do you think it's so hard to legalize certain things that probably should be legal now? You would need less police officers. You would need less first responders. You would need less doctors for the crimes that are coming into the hospital. It is a ripple effect. Some people don't want our nation to be better and be like this oasis of just unity, no crime, and all of that. They don't want that because it actually isn't suitable for our economy. People won't even be able to work. You know how many nurses and doctors would no longer be needed if you reduce crime? Because a lot of people who come into the emergency room are victims of crimes. Less police officers. Less everything from a governmental standpoint. It is not only big business for the private owners, but it helps sustain the economy. So guys, do y'all know we incarcerate the largest amount of people in the world by far? By far. And we don't even have the largest populations. And people say, oh, systemic. It's not systemic. This is all a system. But your system is broken if it relies on prison. Your system is broken if it is dependent on the incarceration of individuals. If your system could decline if you had less crime, then your system is broken. It'll be hard to fill all the jobs. Like I read the article from legislators, and they admitted governmental officials, law enforcement, first responders are a large percentage of the employment working class of America. If that number reduced, like if we reduce crime by 50%, we would be in trouble from a economic standpoint. Because don't get it wrong, first responders and governmental employees like officers and all of that stuff, that is a large group of the working class in America. And a lot of them won't have a job anymore if crime was gone. Legislators admitted the less crime is actually not good for our economy. So if they're going to admit it's not good for our economy and push for tougher penalties, it's a system. All these police cars got the words on them, protect and serve. Protect and serve. Instead, it's no longer protect and serve. It's catch and judge. Catch and incarcerate. And Eric Goldstein, I'm not entertaining your ignorance, bro. You're ignorant. Talk about TD, shut up. You don't about economics. You just keep proving you don't know what you're talking about. That's the most ignorant comment you can say, bro. I don't live in ignorance like you. You got to be specific. Tell me what I don't know what I'm talking about and educate me. Talk about somebody who taught economics. I taught economics, so shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. People always try to make a comment about something and won't. See, you're the type of person that gets off on getting on somebody else. That ain't what we do over here. If you see a flaw in what I'm saying, educate me. Educate me then. I ain't ignorant. And I'm humble enough to say, oh, he just said something to correct me. Let me document that and be more wise. But you can't say that. You can't say what I don't know what I'm talking about. All you can just say is in general, you don't know what you're talking about. Be specific. I bet you don't come up with a specific. Because everything I'm saying right now is factual. Facts. These ignorant trolls try to change the narrative on the conversation. That ain't going down over here. We about change over here. Not this ignorant narrative to try to hide the truth. Trying to bring division so we can hide the truth. No, you getting called out. You getting called out for it. You getting called out for it. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing that over here. These are facts. We need some specifics on where I'm missing the mark. And if you right, correct me. Correct me when I'm wrong, but acknowledge me when I'm right. But be specific. We ain't doing that fake news stuff over here where you throw out, oh, he lying. No, you got to tell me what I'm lying about or what I'm wrong about. It's ridiculous, man. Y'all don't understand. People make too much money off of the downfall of others. That's what's happening in our nation. Our own legislators have admitted it. Without prisons and without first responders and all of that, our economy, it actually would hurt us. So we need to create a system that's not dependent on that so that those powers that be that are greedy can do better, can put us in better situations. It's that simple, man. Let's keep it moving. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong one.
And you swallowed your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but love is the guide.
When greed is not the compass and love is the guide. When greed is not the compass, man, these guys know exactly what I'm talking about. When greed is not the compass. This nation is built on greed. It's built on greed. When greed is not the compass. Somebody just asked me, so you are saying we shouldn't have first responders, TD? Absolutely not, Chef Step. You need first responders. But you only need what you actually need. You only need what you actually need. Think about it. Say your neighborhood had 0 crime for 10 years. 0 crime. They may have 2 officers patrolling it every night. But say it had some of the worst crime in the nation. You might have 25 officers patrolling it every night. So if we reduce crime down to 0 in your neighborhood, you still need first responders just in case it happened, but you don't need 25. You see what I'm saying? And the problem is, it'll take away from the jobs. So they want to give harsher sentences. They want to keep this cycle going. It's that simple. It's that simple. We have to have first responders. It's just that we become so dependent, and that's a large part of our economy. Man, let me tell y'all something. Do y'all ever notice, like, all the hospitals, how they're constantly growing and there's a new building that's coming up? Hospitals are making so much money. The hospitals also benefit from crime, too, in a lot of cases. And sicknesses and stuff like that. They're growing at a fast rate. They're making a lot of money. This is what our system is dependent on. Is that why everywhere they lower the number of cops, crime goes up? Not necessarily, Eric, because you have to realize there's some areas where they don't have many officers at all, but they have very little crime. But look at those areas. They have targeted education. It's usually areas that have the most wealth. They don't have a liquor store on every corner. They don't have a Planned Parenthood in every area. You see, so that's a huge part of it as well. Everything is a part of a game. Think about it, man. There's some neighborhoods, there is no such thing as a corner store. There are some neighborhoods that there are no such thing as a corner store. Where's y'all corner store? What's that? What's that? There's no such, like, some people might be in this chat right now. What does he mean by a corner store? A store that's on a corner? Well, there's always stores on corners. No. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say a corner store. There's some people that don't even know what I'm talking about when I say a corner store. That's my point. And they don't even know what it looks like to have 5 people sitting out in front of the corner store, begging for change, selling drugs, drinking beers in a paper bag. They don't even know what that looks like. There's a reason for that. This conversation can be so deep. Let's keep it moving, man.
And when the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime.
Until then, we'll just skip the long production and stay inside.
For centuries, we've been trying to make you aware. Either you're in denial or just simply don't really care.
It's not a black-white thing.
Or
it's not a black-white thing.
A left-right thing.
Or a left-right thing.
Let's clean the whole bird.
Let's clean the whole bird.
Stop arguing about which wing.
And stop arguing. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, them bars, though. Those are bars. Those are lyrics for you, boy. What they just said, those are bars. It's not a black-white thing. It's not a left-right thing. Let's clean the whole bird. The whole bird. Instead of arguing over which wing. Bars. Man. But it's so right, man. Let me tell y'all something. When it comes to Democratic versus Republican, it's literally, I'm telling y'all, it ain't nothing but a tool of division. It ain't nothing but a tool of division. My side, your side. It ain't nothing but a tool of division because every human nature, you're going to take pride in your side. Even if you're wrong. You're going to take pride in your side. But that blinds you from seeing the other side. And when we all need to realize there ain't no side, and once we realize there ain't no side, and we're all in the same world together, there won't be change. There won't be change until we get rid of all the divide. And in my humble opinion, parties are nothing but a symbol of division. That's why TD don't sit around here and say I'm Democrat nor Republican. No, I'm not. I'm neither. I'm neither of them. I am neither of them. Neither. Because both sides have their flaws. And both sides are ignoring these issues, believe it or not. I don't care which side you're on. I am telling you today, both sides are ignoring these issues. Both. Well, this side is actually addressing this one by doing that one, but ignoring so many of the other ones on purpose. I ain't with all that, man. I don't do that side stuff. I'm a grown man. I'm on my side. And I'm going to do what's best for me and my kids and my wife. This is the first time in our nation that we are literally we made politics bigger than sports. That was never the case, y'all. Disrespecting the flag and country is divisive. These athletes have no honor, and we just letting it slide. It's my great-grandparents could take bricks to the face and stand for the flag. Man, that's shocking that you say that. Same person. I love that you said it, though, because it allows me to actually address it. Just the first line, that's all I want to address. Disrespecting the flag and country is divisive. So what if the flag is disrespecting you? Then what? That's the real conversation. See, you want to talk about somebody disrespecting the flag. But what if the flag is disrespecting you? Oh, nobody want to talk about that. Because what is the flag? Who represents the flag? Oh, nobody want to talk about that. Respect is a two-way street. And I'm going to say it because I love my nation. I love this country. And I forgot which person said it on TV. They got emotional about it. They cried. It was an athlete commentator. He said, we have always loved this country, but why does it never love us back? Especially African Americans. The only race that fought in every single war that this country ever been in. Facts. Facts. We have loved this country, but can we get it to just start loving us back? Oh, they disrespecting the flag. Oh, the flag need to start respecting us. We supposed to have respect for something that ain't respecting us. Guess who represents the flag? All of the people. We all represent that flag. We the people. We the people. We the people. You ain't got to agree with it, Chef. We all got different opinions. But we the people. When are we going to get to the point to where we're literally saying, what is the flag? It's not just this piece of cloth that flies. What is the flag? At the end of the day, when you get down to the root of the flag, it's the people. We are the flag, the people. Dang, that was powerful what you just said, Kaniak. There was we the people and there was we the property. Gosh, that was powerful. How do you have homeless veterans? That's interesting. And you're right. Read the lyrics to the national anthem. Which one? You see that? And then go research why they were changed. Why it was changed every time it was changed. Say, read the lyrics to the national anthem. Which one? There's different versions. They were changed over time for different reasons. You got to stop blaming everyone else and take responsibility for yourself. I agree with that too. There's a lot of ownership that needs to be taking place. But again, don't stop there. You need to ask the why. Why? Shouldn't be one homeless veteran. I know. Anyway, man, let me finish this off. Talk to him, Flores.
Before the media starts wondering and guessing, they just answered all your questions. We'll just stay inside.
Is it
Facts.
authentic?
Facts. So it's no question. I love how they delivered this message. Why? Because they're going to ask all these questions. Why do you think it's important to do this? Why would you be doing that? They just answered all your questions. They just answered all your questions, man. They just answered all your questions. That's how they feel about it. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't feel the same way. They don't feel the same way. But that doesn't mean you don't listen to how they feel. The problem is we don't care about how other people feel, only ourselves. And that's the selfishness in human nature in itself. That's the selfishness in human nature itself, man. And let me say this as well. This is just going to continue for years and years and years and years until everybody start caring about how everybody else feels. Because as long as you don't, there's going to be a side and you're going to continue to say, oh, I'm sick of this mess. I'm sick of talking about this. I'm sick of talking about this. Yeah. It's easy to be sick of talking about something when you're not the one, you're not the victim. When you're not the victim. It's easy to when you're not the victim. And that's part of the bigger scheme of the problem. Some people don't even see what certain people go through every day of their lives because they're not in that situation. They already benefited from the good education from generation to generation to generation. They benefit in different ways. You got people like me. Like it's crazy to me. Some people, when they're buying their first home, their parents write them a check of $100,000 and say, hey, here's for you to put down. Easy. And people like me and my wife saving up our cash to pay for our home in full, but we're busting our behind to do it. But they don't see the difference of how that is possible. Oh, well, your parents should have made better decisions. No, ask your parents how they got to that point, and then ask me how my parents got to the point they got to. And let's keep going back, and we're going to reach a point where you might actually recognize the difference. Right here in history was a vital point where my future generations was already on a course different from yours. I'm the first one in my family to go to college. First one. First one. We need, and I said this last time, we need help, y'all. So I'm asking people to reason, open your heart, and just listen and try to put yourselves in someone else's shoes. It may not even fit, but it doesn't mean you still try it on. You might actually get something out of it. All right. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I know some people are going to be like, oh, can we just stay away from politics with football? Our football team, Miami Dolphin fans. Because if you don't like what they just did, then don't support the team, which means stop being a fan. Unsubscribe to this channel. Take the Miami Dolphins off of your favorite list because all I'm doing is reporting what they believe. And I agree with them. So if you don't like what TD, you shouldn't be making streams like this. Our team is talking about it. This is football related. So if you don't like this kind of talk, stop being a fan of the Miami Dolphins because guess what? This is what our organization represents. And I'm behind it 1,000%. I'm behind it 1,000%. So if you don't like what our organization represents, stop being a fan. I want to see how that goes. oh, we can ignore their beliefs and enjoy their football. But everybody else who believe what they believe, oh, you cut them off and talk bad to them. No. If you feel that way, cut this team off right now. We appreciate you having been a fan at one point. But I am so glad and happy that our organization believes what they believe, feels the way that they feel, fans all the way up. This is how my team represents. This is how my team represents. And I love it. Bringing awareness without stopping the game. We'll just stay inside. This is TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Love y'all. See y'all soon. Peace. I'm out, man. Woo! Let's go Dolphins, baby. That's what I'm talking about.